Good evening, fellows, and welcome back again into the meeting room. I hope you all doing very well, and good evening to all, and getting ready for the next week. So last week was pretty good. I hope you all made money and getting ready for the next week. Yeah, so last week was pretty volatile across the board. Dollar was so weak and euro was surging as we were expecting that euro gonna surge, and we were also anticipating that we're gonna see some movement on yen pairs, but we didn't get anything on yen pairs were not moving so aggressively, but we have seen nice movement on euro pairs, and short-term sell setups were there on on dollar pairs. So let's move on for the upcoming week, yeah, for the possible trade setup we're gonna see for next week. Okay, so as you fellows remember that we are still in bearish trend on dollar index, yeah. So longer term trend gonna be bullish. All right, so longer term trend still bullish on dollar index. All right, so if longer term trend is bullish on dollar index, that means we are having bullish trend across the pairs which are running against the dollar. Okay, but short term, medium term trend is this. All right, so this is the longer term trend. Okay, so we are forming this continuation formation. That continuation formation is just being completed by the price at this area. Okay, so we are still having some room, as I have shown you last week as well. So that is the trade we're gonna look for longer term. Okay, longer term trade. So we are bullish longer term. So medium term bearish, short term bearish. All right, so short term bearish at this area, and longer term gonna look for a reversal. All right, so almost all pairs, almost all dollar pairs are hitting the big reversal areas. Okay, so longer term reversal areas. So you can see price reverse from this area, yeah, highly likely price gonna reverse from this area back to the top again. Okay, so if price gonna reverse on dollar index, so of course we're gonna see reversal on euro USD. Okay, we're gonna see reversal on euro USD. We're gonna see reversal on USD chief. Yeah, we're gonna see reversal on USD chief. We're gonna see reversal on USD CAD. Okay, we're gonna see reversal on New Zealand dollar. We're gonna see reversal on New Zealand dollar, and we're gonna see reversal on Australian dollar and USD dollar. Okay, so I'll explain later on how you fellas need to look at the trade setup on these pair. Okay, so longer term we are bullish on dollar, so medium term bearish on dollar, yeah, and short term bearish on dollar pairs. Okay, so USD yen not gonna get big effect. USD yen gonna be bullish, short term bearish on USD yen. So longer term USD yen gonna be bullish, so short term bearish. All right, so I'll explain that up here as well. So as you can see, dollar is falling across the board. Yeah, dollar is falling across the board. So now let's look at the lower time frame. If you fellows remember that last week we were having, let me look at the 1 hour time frame, yeah, so that you fellows can remember that. Last week we were here at that area. If you fellows remember the previous forecast, okay, so somewhere here at this area. Okay, so what we have seen after that, we have seen continuation breakdown, continuation breakdown. All right, so these were the trade for last week. These were the trades for last week. Short term bearish. Okay, so similar like that, the way you have done in the last week, you just need to repeat those steps. Okay, if price gonna keep forming continuation, that is the trade. If price gonna keep forming continuation, that is the trade. If price gonna keep forming continuation, that is the trade. Okay, that is the trade. That is the trade. All right, similar like that, in the next week, we are close to hit the bottom. Yeah, you can see we are close to hitting this bottom. All right, so if we're gonna see another continuation at that area similar like that, that's gonna be the trade. Okay, that's gonna be the trade. If we're gonna see the continuation similar like the previous week, then we're gonna go for another short-term bearish. All right, so let me show you the example. Which trade? All right, so that was the previous patterns. Yeah, the previous pattern, short-term bearish on this pair. Yeah, so that was the last week. Yeah, when that pattern was forming, that was the bearish trade setup over there. Okay, so which we have seen after that pattern, the pattern I have just shown you, that was the short-term bearish trade over there. So similar like that, if you're going to see another continuation, we're going to go for another short-term trade to the downside. Okay, so price is somewhere here at this area currently on this pair. All right, so here we got that chart. All right, if we're going to see another continuation, that's going to be the trade. All right, that's going to be the trade, similar like the previous one. All right, if we're not going to see this continuation formation, so what we're going to see over there, we're going to see reversal. Okay, so see reversal, something like that, strong impulse. All right, if we're going to see strong impulse, simply we're not going to go for short for that trade. Okay, we're not going to go for short term to the downside for that trade. We're gonna look for bigger reversal or for longer term reversal. Okay, we're gonna go for buy somewhere here. We're gonna read that impulse on lower time frame before that impulse complete itself and gonna break that trend line. Okay, so if you're gonna feel comfortable to buy once that impulse gonna appear over there at the bottom, you can join that impulse somewhere here. Okay, if you're not gonna feel comfortable, then wait for the continuation after that reversal formation. Okay, if you're gonna see reverse continuation formation after that reversal formation, then you can look for buy somewhere here within these areas. Okay, so we're gonna watch two things at this area at the bottom, either continuation similar like the previous one. If so, they're gonna be another short-term trade to the downside. All right, if we're not gonna see that, we're gonna see impulse. That means we are having reversal. Okay, that the bigger trend continuation pattern is going to reverse for upside. So very simple. All right, so next is Euro USD. Euro USD is quite similar like the dollar index. Okay, so we are about to hit the 17 area. All right, so the big trade gonna be the downside. So short-term trade gonna be with the trend. All right, the way we have done previously in our trading room. All right, so if you fellows remember that the Euro USD, there was a short-term buy setup, and we have taken that buy setup. All right, so if you fellows remember that, I have explained to you last week as well. All right, some price was somewhere here at this area. So that was the corrective wave. The wave was I was telling you. All right, so corrective wave came over there, and we have seen breakout. Nice breakout after that. Okay, so that was the short-term trade, similar like the dollar index, bearish on dollar index and bullish on Euro USD. Short-term up trade completed on Euro USD. Yeah, that was the trade. All right, if you fellows remember that, that was the trade. So that was the corrective trend continuation pattern, and we were waiting for the breakout, and we got that breakout so aggressively to the upside. All right, so that was the previous wave, that was the corrective wave. This wave did not hit that trend line, the trend line we were anticipating last week. All right, so broken out before that. Why broken out before that? Because it was too corrective. Okay, so you can see it was too corrective candles are there, and these corrective candles were telling us that price not gonna hit this bottom. Yeah, gonna break out before hitting that bottom. So that was the short-term trade over there. Okay, so now we are hitting the top. Now we're gonna look for a reversal from that top. All right, the way I have just explained the dollar index. All right, so when this breakout was coming, we were looking across all the euro pairs. Yeah, that was the early signal. The breakout is just coming over there on Euro USD. All euro pairs were rising. All euro pairs were rising due to the ECB. All right, so short term, that was the breakout which we were looking for during the news event. That breakout. All right, that breakout, we got that after that. So that was the short term trade. And the price was hitting the top, was so aggressive. All right, now let's look at the current chart. All right, so that's the current chart. That's the way we were looking for. That we've completed. Now we are at the top. All right, fellows, we are at the top. So remember, on dollar index, we are having some room to the downside. All right. So that means Euro USD can push further to the upside, can violate that 17 area. All right, can violate that 17 area, can keep pushing slightly to the upside. If so, then you fellows should not sell early. You should not get into the market by relying on this trend line or relying on the previous resistance or the previous high. Okay, what you need to look for, you need to look for a perfect price action for short. Okay, for reversal, for bigger reversal. The reversal I have shown you in bigger time frame. You need to look for perfect price action, something like that. Okay, if you're gonna see that impulse is just coming over there, you can join that impulse. The way I have just told you on dollar index. All right, you can join that impulse somewhere here. If price not gonna form the strong impulse and going to form a continuation similar like the previous one, like this one, there are gonna be another buy setup. Okay, that setup, that buy setup. Okay, continuation and that short-term buy setup to the upside. All right, that trade, we're gonna go for that trade. So before getting into the market on this pair, at least we need an impulse, strong impulse for reversal. Okay, at the current price. If price is not going to give us a strong impulse at the current price and just keep pushing like that, then there is no sell setup. Right, let the price do what it wants to do. And once price is going to break down that channel with strong impulse, then you can join that impulse, all right, for downside. Okay, in case if you will not be able to read that impulse, when that impulse is going to appear over there, what you can do, you can wait for the continuation formation somewhere here within these areas. Okay, or beyond that channel, that ascending trend reversal channel somewhere here for continuation to the downside. So similar like the dollar index. Yeah, once that dollar index is gonna break the descending channel, then you can look for continuation formation outside that descending channel. So similar like that, once you're gonna see the strong impulses just coming over there, and you feel that you are not comfortable to sell that pair, then you can go for the continuation formation either outside the channel or within the channel. Okay, so two price behavior. Remember, you need to watch two price behavior at the top. Either impulsive, if impulsive price action is going to come over there, bearish impulsive, you can look for reversal. Okay, if bearish is not coming, corrective trend continuation pattern formation is just coming over there, what you can do, you can look for another buy. Okay, that kind of trade setup over there. So I hope you fellows remember the previous one, this one. All right. Okay, so that is the structure I'm looking for. Currently, we are having ascending channel and we are at the top. Okay, so whenever this ascending channel gonna break, price gonna reverse back to the bottom. Okay, so ascending channel is also a trend reversal pattern, either ascending or descending. Both are trend reversal patterns. Price not gonna stay in these channels all the time. Will break down or break up, whatever the channel is, bullish or bearish. All right, so pay attention at the top. Watch price action. So USD Chief, if you fellows remember that last week, price was here at this area. Okay, when we were talking about this pair on USD Chief. So we got the strong breakdown, and this pair is still not stopping. Similar like Euro USD. Yeah, Euro USD is rising, USD Chief is falling. Okay, so similar like the other Euro pairs. Okay, so short-term trade setup going to be the downside, but at least price should form a correction. The correction I have just shown you on Euro USD or dollar index, at least something like that. All right. If you fellows remember that last week I have shown you this pattern, and price was at this area. So those who sold at this area, they were looking for breakout. Those who didn't, they were looking for price at this area and then continuation. All right. So there was a short-term trade setup on lower time frame at this area. Okay, similar like the Euro USD and dollar index. That was the trade setup. That was the breakout. That was the trade setup. Short-term trade setup to the downside. Now, similar like that, the other pairs, the bigger formation on USD Chief is this on daily time frame. Okay, the bigger formation we are looking for a reversal. All right, we are looking for a reversal back to the top again at this area. Okay, so this is the longer term. So what we need to look for at this area, we need a strong price action, something like that, strong impulse. I have shown you that before as well. Once we're going to see that kind of price action, we're going to look for buy up to that top. If we're not going to see that price action, we're only going to see the continuation pattern to the downside, the way we have seen before, we're going to go for another wave to the downside. Okay, so similar like the other pairs, the pairs I have just shown you. All right, impulse. If impulse going to appear over there, you simply need to join that impulse. If we're not going to see the impulse, we're going to see the correction, we're going to go for another move to the downside, continuation with the previous short-term trend. Okay, so longer term reversal, short-term bearish. All right, now let's look at the USD CAD. On USD CAD, the bigger picture, the bigger structure or bigger pattern I'm looking for is this. Okay, price is about to hit the trend line, this trend line, okay, and the previous low, this trend line and the previous low. So there are two possibilities again. Either price going to hold that or going to clearly break down. If price going to clearly break down, we're going to look for a continuation, yeah, under that trend line or above that trend line. So those who are my traders, they understand what we look for once price, when price hit the trend line, either for continuation or reversal. Okay, so if price will hit that trend line clearly to the downside, we're gonna look for continuation under that trend line. All right, for that trade, similar like that pattern we're gonna go for. If we're gonna see strong bullish impulse on lower time frame at this area, we're gonna go for another up move within that pattern. Okay, so longer term reversal gonna be over there, that trade. Okay, that's gonna be the trade for us for longer term. All right, so short term trade setup still bearish on this pair. All right, so if you fellows remember the last week, what we were anticipating when price was at that area, okay, was at that area. All right, so I told you we may see trend reversal channel. Yeah, price may form trend reversal channel. If you go back to the previous forecast, you can understand what we were anticipating when price was breaking that pattern. All right, so this is basically a trend reversal channel forming at the bottom, an early sign that we may see reversal from that bottom. Okay, but reversal hasn't confirmed yet. We are still in bearish trend. Yeah, you can see we are still in bearish trend. The similar pattern formation is forming at this area. Okay, so reversal hasn't confirmed yet. So reversal gonna be over there once we're gonna see that this pattern is going to break with strong impulse. All right, something like that. So we will join that impulse somewhere here at this area, by putting stop loss behind. And if you will not be able to buy once you're gonna see the impulse, then you can wait for the continuation. Okay, once price gonna break that trend line, continuation for another up move. Okay, for that trade. So let me show you the lower time frame, what we can do on lower time frame. So by the way, that was the last trade setup, short-term trade setup. Okay, so price is about to hit the bottom, this bottom, that is the previous low, or price is just about to hit the trend line. All right, so just bear with me fellows 1 second, because we are not live on the YouTube, so some fellows are requesting for the link. So let me just post the link over there so that they can join. Yeah, so let me post that link over there so that other fellows can join that. So a couple of people waiting for the live. I don't know what's happening. Something wrong on the Zoom side. It is not going to live on YouTube, and people waiting over there on YouTube. So it's not going to live. So we'll see that next week. Okay, so that was the short-term trade setup over there. Yeah, so we have taken short-term trade setup in our room during the previous week. Okay, so that was the breakout. So some people were getting frustrated on the trading view that when this pattern was breaking, and they started frustrated that it is going to reverse or something like that. Yeah, so pattern takes time to complete itself, so you need to give some time to the pattern so that they can complete and can go into in the direction you are looking for. Okay, so that was the breakout. It was going to continue. All right, so spike back, another impulse, continuation, another impulse. Okay, another continuation, another impulse, another continuation, another impulse. All right, so we managed to get into this trade somewhere here as well. So sold there, and some of my traders sold here for that trade for short term to the downside. Okay, so similar like that, the previous short-term trade you fellas have seen in this channel, you can go for that short-term trade to the downside. All right, so remember, we are going to hit the bottom. Okay, so we are about to hit the bottom. So that bottom may push back very hard. This bottom, okay, that bottom can push the price very strong. All right, so that was the breakout we were looking for. We were looking for this small move to the downside. So we have seen another continuation and then price broken down. Okay, so you just need to figure it out, these continuation within that channel, Once you're gonna figure it out, you will be able to manage the short-term trade within that channel to the downside. Okay, so last week I have shown you these impulses, if you fellows remember that. All right, this impulse, and this impulse. I hope you learned something. All right, you learned something on this pair. You can see the next wave we have seen, the next wave we have seen, the next wave we have seen, the next wave we have seen. All these waves are shorter, are smaller than the previous one. Okay, than these previous impulses. So these short-term waves within that channel suggesting something or telling us something. All right, these small waves or small impulses within that channel telling us that we are hitting the trend reversal point. All right, we may see reversal. Price can reverse. Okay, so potential is going to be smaller to the downside. All right, so anyone who's looking to sell within this channel, remember, potential gonna be smaller over there. Yeah, price can go up to this trend line and can start to pull back. All right, so selling somewhere here, you need to be careful. Okay, price can reverse back. You need to take your profit off somewhere here at lower trend line. Once price gonna complete that channel, somewhere here you can go for another short-term move close to that channel. All right, so what we need to look for in that channel, we need to look for an impulse. Okay, if we're gonna see that impulse, this pair is going to get back to the top again. All right, this pair is going to get back to the top again. So that is the place we are coming from, all the way from that top. So strong bearish. This pair was strong bearish. Okay, so we took a lot of trade within that wave, within that big wave. Yeah, so we sold when price was forming that pattern, when price was forming these patterns, we were selling for these waves. And once price started to form this channel, potential started to get smaller. Okay, so this is basically a reversal formation. All right, so you have to be careful. We are hitting the reversal formation. Okay, so New Zealand dollar slightly push up. Okay, slightly hitting the top, break the previous low at this area. I wasn't anticipating that we're gonna see that breakout, but we got the breakout. All right, so DXY dollar index hitting the bottom, Euro USD hitting the top. All right, USD cheap hitting the bottom. All right, so other dollar pairs are also hitting the major reversal areas. Okay, so longer term reversal we may see. So similar like that, we need to watch price action at these tops. Bearish price action, strong bearish price action. So the way price is just rising looks like corrective. We're gonna see that wave. Okay, so last week we were anticipating that wave. We didn't got that. We got the breakout. Okay, slightly price push to the upside. So we are still looking for that big wave. Okay, so this pair hasn't changed anything. I mean, hasn't changed my view. Okay, I'm still bullish for longer, bearish for longer term on this pair. So short term bullish trade gonna be over there once price gonna complete that wave. Okay, for that trade, you can look for that trade. All right. So currently price is just hitting the previous high. It can violate that high. Okay, possible. The violation of that previous high is possible over there. So what you need to look for, you need to look for price action at that area. Okay, how you can look for price action? First of all, you need to watch either price is going to stop at that area or not. If it is going to stop, then you need to look for impulse. If impulse is just coming over there, you can join. Okay, you can join the trade for the downside. If you don't see an impulse, it is just forming lower degree trend continuation pattern formation, then you can clearly see that this pair is not ready to sell. Okay, so let me give you an example. You can see here that was the continuation. Okay, so lower degree trend continuation pattern was forming within that channel and price broken out. All right, I was anticipating breakdown at this area. We never got the breakout. So similar like that, you can see here at this area, you can see at this area, this is continuation signals. Yeah, this pair is not ready to fall at the moment. Okay, it is pushing. All right, so what you need to look for, you need to look for stronger impulse from that top. Once price is going to give you that impulse, you need to analyze that impulse. Either that impulse is strong enough to rely for reversal or not. If that impulse is strong enough to rely for reversal, you can join that impulse. All right, if that impulse is not going to be stronger enough to rely on, what you can look for, you can look for another continuation for upside, similar like this one. Okay, analyze how that pair is going to form the pattern at this area. Okay, you can go for short-term upside with the previous trend. All right, so pay attention at the top. This pair is still pushing, not showing anything from that top. And Uzi dollar is doing similar things. All right, but slightly looks like this pair has stopped. So last week this pair was more stronger than any other one. Okay, this pair, but we have seen euro more stronger than this pair. Euro pairs were more stronger than this pair, but this pair has stopped somewhere here at this area. Okay, forming new high. So how we're gonna trade on this pair? We have to look at the lower time frame. Okay, so price still can get into this area, hasn't gone far away. So longer term bearish. Okay, so longer term bearish on this pair. Even this pair can, break below this area as well. All right, if you remember that, I have just shown you USD CAD. Okay, so USD CAD, what pattern was forming? USD CAD was forming impulse and bigger trend continuation pattern formation, and at the end, finally, that pair dropped aggressively. Okay, so you all fellas can see that how price is rising on this pattern. So rising in the form of ascending channel or flag. Okay, so this pair gonna break down. It can even go beyond this area. All right, so what we need to look for trade setup on this pair, we need to look at the lower time frame. Okay, lower time frame like 1 hour time frame. Okay, so it is forming new high. We need to look at this area. All right, at this area you can see the impulse over there, and price is just forming the continuation pattern formation. All right, so we need to look for a breakout to the downside. If we're gonna see strong breakout, we can join that bearish breakout. Okay, so once we're gonna see that bearish breakout, let the market do what it wants to do. Where you are selling from top, so potential gonna be very much big over there on this pair. So once price gonna break down that trend continuation pattern, you can look for another continuation at this area within that zone. Okay, once price gonna break down for another continuation to the downside, similar like that. Okay, impulse, continuation, another impulse. Once you're gonna see that impulse, need another continuation, another impulse. I'll show you the example. Okay, I will show you the example how you fellows need to look at this pair. Okay, if you fellows remember the last week we have spoken about the pound chief. All right, so pound chief, when pound chief was showing some big move to the upside. Yeah, when we have seen that big move, if you fellows remember that, this big move, and price was there at this area. Price was forming that continuation pattern formation for another up move. And what I told you last week, I told you watch impulse on this pair. If you're gonna see the impulse, then this pair is not going to rise. Okay, the rise for longer term we were looking on this pair. Okay, it is not going to rise for longer term to the upside. It's going to get to the bottom again. If you fellows remember the last week forecast or outlook, we were anticipating this impulse. Okay, when price was here at this area, somewhere here at this area, we were anticipating that impulse, and then we were looking for a reversal to the downside. Okay, so we are having similar scenario on Australian dollar. Okay, let me show you this pair so that you can understand how we need to look for the Aussie dollar. Okay, so let me show you. what we have seen impulse, impulse, continuation, impulse, continuation, impulse, and reversal. We call that reversal. We have seen impulse and we have seen continuation. Okay, so once price broken down that trend with strong impulse, we were anticipating that trend continuation pattern formation completion. All right, that trend continuation pattern formation completion and then breakdown. So we have seen triangular formation over there. Price never went above that area and came close to that top and then started to fall. Okay, so that is the trend continuation pattern formation, which is just developing over there on Australian dollar. So why we need to care about the Australian dollar? I mean, why we need to be careful? Because the previous impulse which we have seen on Australian dollar is not stronger enough. Okay, that impulse is not stronger enough for the continuation for relying on that pair, that pair is going to fall hardly. Okay, so the possibility for another up move on Australian dollar gonna be possible over there. Okay, so we not gonna ignore this scenario on Australian dollar. If so, we're gonna watch the previous top on Australian dollar and USD dollar, okay, at that area. So I'll get back to that pair once I'll show you the examples here. Right, so you can see that the third image, what we have seen, that was the previous trend. Okay, that was the impulse, that was the continuation, broken down, another continuation, broken down. All right, another continuation, broken down, and we are looking for another continuation for downside. So once you're gonna see this scenario, completion of that pattern on Australian dollar, you need to look for that wave. Okay, once that wave gonna be over there, you need to look for another continuation for another trade, another continuation for another trade. Okay, very simple. Price charts just move impulse, continuation, impulse, continuation, impulse, continuation, impulse. Okay, what you need to do, you need to figure it out, these patterns, these continuation patterns. Okay, how these trend continuation pattern forms. Okay, every time you're gonna see different kind of trend continuation pattern formation. Yeah. So once you will be able to identify, you can look for continuation. Okay, so similar scenario, you fellows need to look at this pair. Okay, so this impulse is not stronger enough like the pound sheep. And what price is doing, price is just developing that continuation pattern formation. What it can do, it can push for another up move. Okay, so we need this impulse, another continuation, another impulse, another continuation, another impulse. All right, we are looking for that wave to the downside on this pair. So pay attention at the top. The one more move up is possible. Okay, you can see it is not falling aggressively, falling correctively. You all can see that. Yeah, what it can do, it can push another up for another up move like ABC or 1 2 3, whatever you want to give the name to that pair or that move, like that. Okay, like that. So it can test this top again. All right, it can test this top again. What you need to look for, you need to look for strong impulsive breakdown, either from this area, either from that top. Okay, for continuation to the downside. I hope you fellows understand. I've spent a lot of time on this pair because many fellows were confused on this pair. So getting stronger price action at that top. Okay, so in longer term, you're gonna look for a reversal from that top. The way I have just explained this pair, keep your eye on this pair. All right. So let me look at the next Uzi pairs, because the next Uzi pairs are more stronger than this pair. All right, so more bearish. Uzi Chief, we are looking for another move down. If you fellows remember that last week, I told you if this pair is going to continue for another up move for this wave, yeah, so at least I should come back to this trend line. Okay, this trend line, and we're gonna trade on this corrective wave to the downside, and once price is going to hit this trend line, we're gonna watch either it is going to break down or going to get back to the top again. But the way price is just falling, we need to pay attention at that area. Okay, the way price is just falling, it is so aggressive. Okay, so aggressive. What we need to look for, we need to look for another continuation. Okay, let me show you the 1 hour time frame. Okay, we need a continuation formation similar like the pound chief. Okay, similar like the pound chief, the pattern I have just shown you on pound chief. All right, fellows, similar like that. You can see impulse, continuation, impulse, continuation, impulse, continuation, impulse, continuation, impulse, reversal, breakdown, strong impulse. Yeah, impulse, continuation, impulse, another continuation required for that trade. So this is the trade we're going to look for. Okay, that is the trade we're going to look for. So what is required over there, at least I should complete the trend continuation pattern which is just developing over there, which hasn't completed yet. All right, this pattern hasn't completed yet. You can see what it can do. It can fall and then can start, or even it can start from this area. All right, so once you're going to see that pattern completed, that is the trade we need to look for. Okay, if it is going to get back, you should not be interested into that trade. Okay, let it go to the top again. We're going to watch that trend line again for this trade. I hope you understand. Okay, we're going to go for this trade. Why we're going to go for that trade? Because this impulse is so strong, right? So strong. So chief is stronger than the dollar. Okay, so these two pairs, fellows, are quite similar. Uzi chief and Euro Uzi dollar or Uzi dollar Euro. Okay, so these two pairs are quite similar. So you can see we are having same pattern. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and breakdown or another up move for downside. Okay, so currently we're gonna trade on this continuation formation, this continuation impulse, or we're gonna watch either this channel is going to hold or going to continue to the downside. All right, so the trade we're gonna look for on this pair for the next week is this. Okay, so fellows, similar like the previous one, you can see the continuation, this is the trade, okay, so that is the trade we're gonna go for. If price gonna break down, we can hold that trade up to this previous bottom or even 27 or 161, okay, for the downside, because we can see this is the bigger continuation formation. It can continue further to the downside. The previous trend is so strong. Okay, so very simple. What you need to look for, you need to look for 1 hour trend continuation pattern completion. So what happened last week on Friday? So Euro and chief pairs were getting strong, and Australian dollar, hit hard and started to fall. So that is the reason price is forming strong impulse and haven't completed the continuation formation. Yeah, most of the pairs, most of the Australian dollar pairs are forming continuation formation. Yeah, developing the continuation formation. So it will take a couple of days, like Monday or Tuesday, and going to be ready Wednesday or Thursday for continuation to the downside. So you need to give some time to these pairs so that these pairs can complete the formation. Just keep eye. Once that completion gonna complete, you can look for either breakout or before the breakout for that trade. Okay, so that's gonna be the trade. So similar like the previous one. Okay, that is the trade. Okay, so that is the trade. So we have traded on these waves. If you fellows remember that, we have traded on these waves. All right, so let me show you the previous chart so that you can understand what kind of trade setup we are looking for on this pair. Okay, so that was the idea I posted over there. That was the trade setup. Yeah, impulse, continuation, impulse, continuation, impulse. The bigger pattern was continuation to the downside. Okay, now this pattern is just developing over there for another up move. All right, yeah, this is the breakout. Yeah, you can see over there similar like that. Once that pattern gonna complete, you need to look for continuation. Okay, so these were the trades set up within that pattern. Okay, so similar like that, you need to deal that pair. Okay, Aussie New Zealand dollar, you can see this pair is also falling so aggressively. Let me show you the bigger image first. What we are having on bigger. Okay, that is the pattern I'm looking for. I'm looking for this pair to come at least up to this area, and once you're gonna hit that area, I'll look for completion of that pattern. Okay, I will look for completion of that pattern and then continuation to the upside. Okay, so this is not a way to continue for upside. Okay, let me tell you again. This is not a way to continue for upside. All right, impulse, continuation. This is basically the bigger continuation, similar like USD CAD. Okay, that was bearish. This is the bullish continuation. So this is not a way to continue for upside. So at least I should hit this bottom, this previous low, and we're gonna look for continuation to the upside. Okay, so what we are having at current price, we are having nice strong bearish impulse. Okay, we're gonna go for that trade first, and once price gonna hit this bottom, we're gonna watch price action at this area. Either it is going to break down or going to reverse for another up move within that pattern. All right, within that pattern, we'll see that. So let me show you the lower time frame so that you fellas can understand what we need to look for. Okay, we need to look for simply completion of this pattern. Okay, you can see impulse, continuation, impulse, continuation, impulse, reversal, impulse. That is the continuation formation which is just developing over there. Okay, so this is very small. This is very small. At least I should do something like that, something like this, flat channel, and then we can go for that trade. All right. So I'm looking for further continuation to the downside. In case if price gonna reverse back to the top, we will analyze this. So it's not about bars. It's about you know, completion of the pattern. At least price should complete that pattern before you're gonna look for continuation. Okay. So almost everywhere you can see USD. Uzi USD is just forming the continuation. Yeah, Uzi pairs. Yeah, USD pair, Uzi dollar. Yeah, Uzi pairs are just forming continuation formation. All right. So at least they need some time to complete the formation. Then you can look for continuation to the downside. So looks like Australian dollar gonna get weak in next week, and more trade setups we're gonna see on this pair. Okay, so this is the bigger picture on Uzi CAD I'm looking for. Okay, this is the bigger image I'm looking for. The trade I'm looking for, is this. Okay, last week we were anticipating breakout at this area, we never got that breakout. Okay, this is the trade I'm looking for, something like that. Okay, at this area. All right, so some of my traders, they managed to sell at this area, get into the market at the top. They did an excellent job in our trading room. Okay, so what we have seen, fellows, we have seen breakdown. Okay, breakdown of this trend. You can see strong breakdown. All right, so we need a continuation pattern formation at this area, completion of that continuation pattern formation. So try to sell as much high as you can somewhere here within these areas, so that you can put your stop just behind, you can save yourself. So that's going to be the trade. Okay, that's going to be the trade for next week. In case we're going to see that this pair is going to break out for upside like that, all right, going to break out like that, then we're going to look for continuation to the upside. We're going to watch continuation at the top and we're going to go for upside. Okay, so far the trade is to the downside. So trade gonna be something like this. Okay, something like that, right? Something like that, impulsive here at this area. So try to sell as much as high as at that place. So some of my fellows managed to sell here at this area as well, but you need to look for those who are not in. You need to look for at this area. Eurocad. Eurocad is also forming a trend continuation pattern formation. Okay, so we traded on this pair here, here, here. We traded here. Now we are looking for this trade. All right, so we took this profit in our room, this profit. Now we're gonna go for that trade. Okay, some of my traders even bought this pair as well at this area, or bought that small move during the news event for that up move, and I explained that in the meeting. Okay, now we're gonna go for that trade. All right, fellows, we're gonna watch price action at that area and we're gonna go for that trade. We are still in continuation formation. You can see that continuation formation at this area broken down and repeating that continuation formation again. We're gonna pay attention at this area, okay, for that trade. Even it can break down that area. So first target gonna be within that channel. Once price gonna hit that bottom, we're gonna look for continuation to the downside. Either it is going to continue to the downside or not. Right at this area. So in case we're gonna see that price is going to break out at this area, okay, going to break out that area, that place, then we're gonna look for continuation up to that area, okay, up to that area. So far we don't need to think about that. We need to think about this area because we can see strong bearish momentum over there. So we're gonna go for that trade. We'll see that how this price gonna behave at that top. All right, so that is the structure, the structure I'm looking for. You can see continuation, impulse, continuation, impulse, continuation, impulse, another continuation. So that is the trade we're going to look for. And catch chief. Yeah, if you fellows remember last week, I told you we're going to see that wave, okay, when price was hitting at that area, okay. So we were watching price action at that area. Price just went up to this area and started to rise. All right, so similar pattern is here on this pair, like USD EuroCAD. Okay, so pay attention at this area. That is the trade. If price breakout, hold that up to that area, that trend line, that is the bigger trend line, bigger structure trend line. Okay, that is the trade. If price breakout to the downside, this area, then we're gonna go for continuation to the downside. Why we're gonna go for continuation to the downside? Because the price is at the top and looks like we're gonna see the reversal. Okay, we're gonna see the reversal. So short-term trade setup is there for upside. Then we're gonna go for that trade, similar like the previous one. Okay, similar like the previous one. The way price was did over there. Okay, so we're gonna go for that trade if you're gonna see the breakout at this area. All right, so far short-term up trade with the previous trend. We're gonna look for that trade, and once price gonna break down that trend line aggressively with strong impulse, we're gonna go for continuation and that trade setup. Okay, the bigger trade setup to the downside. Let me show you the example so that you fellas can understand. All right, so you can see here as well. All right, impulse broken down, continuation, and that was the trade. Similar like that, impulse, continuation, and gonna go for that trade, this trade. Okay, so far we need to look for that continuation based on that impulse, based on that trend. Okay, that's gonna be the trade for us for next week. Remember, if EuroCAD drop, this pair will rise too. UQL did an excellent job. If you fellows remember that, we were watching breakout. Okay, we were watching breakout. We got the breakout. Now we are looking for continuation at that area. Okay, that is the trade for next week, fellows. All right, we got the breakout. All right, we got the breakout. We need a continuation formation at this area. We're gonna see the continuation. That is the trade. Okay, impulse is strong. Of course, we're gonna see the continuation, something like that. That's gonna be the trade. Okay, we'll see the price action at the previous low. If price gonna break down, then we'll see the price action at the previous low. Okay, so broken down, that ascending channel broken down. Good luck to you, those who are into that trade. USD yen. USD yen is just going the direction we were looking for. We need a continuation formation, okay, within that pattern. So that is the trade we were looking for. Okay, that was the trade we were looking for. So far, price is falling. What we need to look for on this pair, so we have seen continuation formation on this pair. Okay, this continuation formation last week, that was the breakout. We have seen that wave. Okay, that was the breakout, continuation, breakout, another continuation, and we have taken that trade. All right, so similar like that, we need a continuation. Okay, so that trade gone. We started to sell that pair from that top. That breakout gone. Another continuation was there, gone. We need a continuation in that channel again for that trade. Okay, for the downside. If we're gonna see price is going to rise aggressively, then we're gonna start to look for buy. Okay, this pair USD yen, we're gonna look for buy. All right, because we are having some news event on USD pairs in coming week, so it looks like we may see some strength on US dollar. So this pair started to fall as well from the top. Okay, pound yen. But the way this pair is just falling, not aggressive, falling correctively. Okay, this is the corrective wave, not aggressive wave, something like that. Right. So we're gonna go for that trade. We still have some room to the downside. So what we need to look for, simply we need to look for continuation. So almost on all pairs, we need to look for continuation patterns. So we were looking to sell here at this area. All right, if you fellows remember that, we were looking to sell from that top. In last week, we have seen that way. We have seen that continuation pattern formation, that channel. We have seen that continuation. Now we're going to go for another continuation and then breakdown. All right, fellows. So let the price complete the continuation, and we're going to look for that trade breakdown to the downside. In case price do not continue and break up that trend line, then we're going to look for short-term upside up to that previous top. So those who sold here, move their stop on break even. Okay, move your stop on break even and stay safe. That wave may appear over there because the way it is just falling is corrective, not so aggressive. Euro yen still in bearish mode. Okay, so the bigger trade still gonna come to the downside. All right, that is the bigger trade we're gonna look for on this pair. That trade in longer term. But we are at the top. What we need to look for, let me show you what we need to look for, fellas. We have seen that continuation pattern formation last week. We were anticipating price action at that area. We got the price action. We have seen small move within that channel. We haven't got the breakout. Okay, so we have seen another up move during the news event, and some of you fellows managed to buy for that short term to the upside. All right, but we are still under that impulse. Impulse hasn't validated that. We're gonna go for that trade for next week. All right, let me show you what you fellows need to look for. All right, you fellas need to look for that trade. Okay, for the next week, that trade. And once price gonna hit this trend line, we'll see Either it is going to get back to the top again or going to break down. Okay, so we need to pay attention at this area. We are still under the impulse. We are having continuation formation. Okay, price hasn't done anything, unreasonable things over there. So that is the continuation formation which is just developing over there. Let this trend continuation pattern formation complete and go for that trade. Okay, go for that trade. Watch price action at this area. That is the trade for short term. Once that pattern complete, that is the short term. Watch price action. If breakdown, hold that. Watch this trend line. The trend line I have shown you for another up move or continuation to the downside. So this pair has a huge potential for longer term. Okay, huge potential for longer term. Watch the top. Chief yen is quite similar like that. Alright, Chief yen is quite similar like that pair, like Euro yen. Alright, forming continuation, you can look for short at this area, that short-term trade. If price break down, hold that. If it is not going to break down, we're going to go for another up move. Alright, Uzi yen, we are having that structure, that bigger structure. Alright, I'm still looking for a downside, that big trade to the downside on that pair, because the bigger trend is to the downside. So what you fellows need to look for, a breakout. Let me show you the 4-hour time frame. Breakout of this ascending channel. We are at the top. Watch the breakout of the ascending channel. Once that breakout come, watch continuation, and that is the trade. That is the bigger trade to the downside. Okay, impulse, we got the impulse over there. We need a continuation formation for that trade. New Zealand yen, similar like Aussie yen. Okay, so the bigger pattern I'm looking for is this. Alright, if you follow New Zealand yen, yeah? New Zealand dollar and yen. Okay, so last time we sold that pair from that top. Okay, so similar scenario we are having. We are having that price back to the top again. Alright, so we need to pay attention at that area. So we're going to go for that trade. We need a price action at the top. At least we need an impulse. We don't see that impulse at the moment. Okay, something like that. If you see that impulse, you can join that. If you don't see that impulse, then short-term trades are up to the upside, but potential gonna be smaller over there. Okay, because we are at the top. Okay, breakdown, strong breakdown. Alright, strong breakdown at this area. Strong impulsive breakdown, similar like the Aussie yen. So CAD yen, similar like the other pairs, other yen pairs. Like, we're gonna watch the top for that trade. Okay, we're gonna watch the top for that trade within that pattern. Alright, what we need to look for, we need to look for a stronger price action. At the moment, we don't see that. We see only continuation formation. You can see continuation formation. It can break up for another up move. We don't see any strong price action at that area for the downside. So pay attention at that top. Pound Chief. So Pound Chief did an excellent job. And if you fellows remember, last week I told you, if Euro Pound is rising, then Pound Chief not gonna rise. okay, pound sheep gonna fall. If euro pound is rising, then this pair gonna fall. So there are some traders, they have no idea what they look for. At the same time, they are looking for short on this pair, and on euro pound they are looking for a short at the same time. Yeah, so that's not possible, fellows. Okay, all right. If this pair start to, let me open the euro pound so that you fellas can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you remember, last week we have spent a lot of time on this pair when price was here at this area. We were watching price action at that area. Okay, so you can see clearly that wave came on pound cheap and that wave came on euro pound. Yeah, if this pair is falling, this pair will not fall, this pair will rise. Okay, so if you are looking to sell this pair and looking to sell this pair, so you're gonna be correct. You only gonna get one good trade, one trade. You're gonna win one, and one gonna be losing trade over there. All right. So remember, these two pairs follow each other. These two pairs follow each other. All right. So euro pound, what we have seen. We have seen that continuation, okay, on euro pound, and at the same time we were selling the other pair, the pound sheep. Okay, we have seen that wave continuation, we have seen that wave. All right, and we were selling the pound sheep as well at the same time when we were buying this pair. So one pair, if one pair rise, then the other one will fall. Okay, so what we need to look for on this pair for next week, if we're gonna see, currently we can see the bigger continuation formation is breaking, it can keep falling, all right, but there is no trade setup. If you're gonna sell on current price, there is no trade setup. It can reverse from the previous low, okay, it can rise back. All right, so what we need to look for at the previous low, at least another continuation formation at that area for this trade. Okay, if we're going to see continuation, it can hit the bottom. Similar like the euro pound, if we're going to see the continuation on top, we're going to see the price going to rise, hit the top on euro pound. Okay, if you're going to see the price action, stronger price action at that area, bullish price action, then we're going to see the reversal. Okay, then we're going to go for buy. Still we don't see any price action. Okay, we are just having bearish momentum, which still there. If we're gonna see this kind of price action at the current price, then we're gonna look for a buy. All right, if we know we're gonna see that kind of price action, we're gonna look for continuation pattern formation. All right, like that, we're gonna go for continuation to the downside. Very simple. All right, so we are hitting the previous low. We need to watch a price action at the previous bottom. Then we're gonna go for either up or down. So currently we are neutral on this pair on pound sheep. So the previous trade setup was perfect over there. Nice. All right, so that is the euro pound. If we're gonna see lower degree continuation, this is the trade. If we're not gonna see continuation, we're gonna see impulse, we're gonna go for this trade to the downside. All right, that trade. So short term upside possible. Let me show you the lower time frame. You can see we are still forming continuation formations. Okay, it is not ready to sell at the moment. At least this kind of price action required before selling. We are still having continuation formation, so it is just developing. Okay, let the formation complete and you can look for another up move. If we're gonna see impulse, something like that, we're gonna go for downside. All right, we're gonna go for downside. We're gonna watch continuation and we're gonna go for sell, for short. Pound USD. Pound USD is dropping the way we were anticipating last week, but falling correctively. Yeah, not falling aggressively. You all can see that falling correctively. So that means that up move is possible. Okay, within that pattern. And the longer term, bearish. Alright, once price gonna hit that top again, we're gonna go for bearish. So medium term bullish and the short term is bearish. Okay, the short term trade you need to look for is this. Okay, pay attention at that area, at this area, and look for that trade. This trade. If you're gonna see that price is going to fall aggressively and going to break down that channel, you can hold that for further downside. If it is not going to fall aggressively, going to fall correctively like that, like the previous one, then take off and go for another up move to the upside. Okay, so similar like that trade at that area. Okay, so one more up move is possible over there. So once price gonna hit the top, we're gonna go for short. Pound CAD did an excellent job last week. Pretty good. That was the trade. You can see that completed. So it seems to me we don't have any trade set up on this pair at the moment. Not short term, not medium term, not longer term. Okay, so longer term trade setup gonna be formed at the bottom. At least price hit this bottom. All right, for that trade. So we're gonna see either it is going to break down or going to get back like that. All right, so this is the pattern we may see over there. That pattern. If you fellows remember this pattern, then you know that what pattern is this. All right, if you fellows remember the previous pattern, then you remember what pattern was that. I think I posted idea on this pair at this area. Let me look at that. Here is that pattern. Right, so we have seen reversal, breakout, continuation, reversal, and bigger continuation pattern formation. So this is the bigger continuation pattern formation with the previous trend. All right, so pound CAD is developing the same pattern formation but on weekly time frame. Okay, you can see broken down aggressively. Similar like that, this pair is developing the same pattern formation, but this is the bigger weekly one. Okay, this is the previous same pattern we have seen here, broken out, continuation, and we may see another up move from this bottom. So we will look for a buy once price will hit this bottom. Either it is going to continue or going to reverse. So what we need to look for on lower time frame. Lower time frame is just forming continuation formation and falling, continuation formation and falling. So we were looking to sell here, looking to sell here. If you fellows remember that, last week we have seen these small trades in our trading room. This trade, this wave, and this wave. Okay, so short-term trade setup gonna be there on 15-minute time frame. Yeah, so similar like these trade setup. Another continuation, another trade. Okay, so it is developing the reversal channel. It can come back somewhere here within these areas for medium term trade to the upside. So currently we are watching this pair. We'll see that how this bottom gonna develop. Okay, if you're gonna see a bigger correction, of course we're gonna go for another wave to the downside. Okay, if we're gonna see that bigger correction like that, we're gonna go for another down move. All right, something like that trade, something like that trade, something like that trade. Okay, something like that trade over here. Pound New Zealand dollar, similar pattern is just developing over here. Okay, the bigger weekly we have seen on pound CAD. Okay, so price just repeat these patterns again and again, again and again. You can see reversal channel broken out, holding that top, coming close to the bottom. We need to watch price action. If it is going to break down, short-term trade is over there. If it is not going to break down, holding that top, that is the trade. Once it's going to hit the top, we're going to go for that trade. So this is the bigger daily trend continuation formation. Okay, so currently we need to watch price action at the bottom for another up move. Okay, this is the bigger daily trend continuation pattern formation, which is just appearing over there. Okay, either we're going to see that wave or that wave. We need to watch price action at that area. If you're going to see some impulsive signs over there, we can look for buy. Okay, so let me show you what pattern was there, what pattern we were anticipating. We were anticipating that pattern formation. Okay, so price broken down, all right, broken down that corrective area, broken down, testing this bottom. You can see over there, it can hold that, can go back again to the top. If so, then we're gonna trade on that area. Okay, within that area for another up move. Okay, so similar like pound CAD. Watch price action at this bottom. If price hold that, go for another up move. Pound Aussie dollar, yeah, developing the continuation formation. This pair, let me show you the bigger image. Okay, so similar like that, fellows. The bigger wave we're gonna look for on this pair is this. Alright, but once price gonna complete that wave, this short-term trade, okay, we're gonna go for that trade. We're gonna go for that trade. If you fellows remember that wave and this wave, the bigger wave on these pairs, once price was hitting this bottom, we were looking for that up wave. Okay, that up wave, that up wave. So we're gonna look for this wave here once price gonna hit this bottom, the up wave. Okay, so let me show you on lower time frame what's going on over there. So this pair is just developing the continuation formation. You can see over there, this formation hasn't completed yet. Pay attention at that area. If price hold that, you can look for that trade. Okay, similar like that trade, similar like that trade. If you fellows remember this flag, yeah, and I have shown you that flag when price was hitting this trend line, either under that channel or above that channel, and then break out. So nice, this pair was nice. So currently the continuation pattern formation is not completed yet. You can see over there, it can further push up. If so, pay attention at that area. If price hold that, you can look for that short-term trade, and once breakdown, then the bottom. Okay, so medium-term trade is still there. In case we're not going to see this trade, short-term trade, and prices just keep rising aggressively, we're going to look for buy. Okay, because we are at the bottom. Euro chief is not ready. Euro New Zealand dollar. Euro New Zealand dollar looks like gonna go for another big move to the downside. Okay, that move. It seems to me that we're gonna see that big move to the downside on this pair. Yeah, so looks like Euro gonna get worse across the board. Across the board because it has moved a lot and reversal. So that is the trade we're gonna look for. Okay, so currently it is forming some corrective patterns at that area, and we are looking for breakout. So that is the trade, the bigger trade we're going to look for. So how we need to look at the lower time frame? Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so this is the continuation pattern formation, which is just developing over there. Some of my traders managed to sell here, and pay attention at that area. Okay, if price tests that top, look for sell here at this area for that trade. Okay. If price not gonna hit that area, then watch stronger breakdown at this area. Okay, stronger breakdown and join that. So first, we're gonna see what we're gonna have at this area. If price gonna stop that, we'll look for another short term up and then continuation to the downside if not gonna hold that. Alright, so pay attention to breakout. Many of my traders looking on this pair. And New Zealand chief slightly changing the formation. If Euro New Zealand dollar gonna fall, this pair no gonna fall. Yeah, this pair gonna rise. So it seems to me that this pair may rise for another up move. Okay, for another up move, that up move. So that we may not see that move. Okay, we were looking for that way It is possible we're not going to see that wave. Okay, and other formation you fellas can see clearly, head and shoulder. All right, head and shoulder. So that is the way which may appear over there. So head and shoulder forming here, and head and shoulder forming on euro, New Zealand dollar as well. All right, let me show you that one as well. Okay, so head and shoulder, you can see left hand, left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. Okay, so it can come down, this pair can come down. So you need to pay attention at the bottom, at this bottom. Okay, pay attention at this bottom. Watch this area for another up move. Continuation formation, we're gonna ignore that impulse. Okay, we're gonna count that impulse. Alright, so USD Turkish lira, it seems to me that this pair gonna soon rise. Okay, big trade gonna be over there on this pair. It seems to me that we're gonna see another coup in Turkey. Yeah, because last time when we have seen that wave, there was a coup in Turkey. Yeah, so it seems to me that something is going to happen with the Turkey in coming days, and this we are going to go for another up move. Yeah, because we are having continuation formation, strong trend continuation formation. Yeah, very corrective trend continuation formation. So where we need to pay attention. So this is a longer term trade, fellows, not a short term trade. Longer term trade. If you are looking for a short term trade on this period, this is not ready to take a short term trade. Yeah, this is the trade I'm looking for. Yeah, so this is a trend continuation pattern, a triangle. Price is holding that bottom. Right, so pay attention at this area. If you're going to see that price has started to struggle, not going to continue, then this is the trade. Okay, this is the trade. So when you can look for that trade, I mean, when you can get into the market, simply you need to watch strong price action at the bottom. Strong price action means strong candles, strong bullish candles. Whenever that strong bullish candle is going to appear at this bottom, just join that. Okay, a single candle can leave this area. A single candle can leave this corrective area. So still continuation, it can fall back. Pay attention at this area. If you're going to see that kind of continuation, strong bullish candle, join that. It is going to leave the triangle. Okay, so in coming days, we're going to see big move on USD Turkish lira. Okay, so similar like the previous one. Gold is just going to complete the pattern, but it is not going to give us any nice pullback. We were waiting for the pullback. We haven't seen that pullback. Yeah, going to complete that pattern. All right, so we still have room. We can go for that room. We need a perfect continuation pattern formation. All right, perfect continuation pattern formation. Once we're going to see that continuation pattern formation, we can look for buy. All right, at least some of my traders, they get into the market at this area. But for those who are not in, at least we need to see this continuation formation before buying the gold. All right, so wait and watch. Once you're going to see the continuation formation, you can look for another up move. Silver is doing an excellent job, but the way we were anticipating, this is not doing according to our plan. Okay, so the plan was that. All right, so plan was that stronger impulse from the bottom. Okay, completion of that wave and stronger wave from the bottom. We haven't seen that stronger wave. What we have seen continuation for another move down. All right, continuation similar like that. Okay, so it can fall back again to the bottom. Those fellows who are into that trade, pay attention at that trend line. If price hold that, take off. So short term sell gonna be over there, but that's gonna be risky because we are already at the bottom. So then look for strong impulse from the bottom again. Alright, so let me show you. Okay, so that is the corrective wave. The wave price is just rising correctively, not aggressively. So here you can see over there, it is not rising aggressively. If price break down that trend line, aggressively hold that. Don't take off those who bought at this area. Okay, wherever they bought. We have spoken about this area when price was there. Okay, so if breakout, aggressively hold that. Look for another continuation above that channel and another trade setup. If no, holding, take off, that is the short term, another up move. Alright, another up move. Okay, so potential is huge over there on silver. That is the potential. We are at the bottom, so one more move down is possible before the big wave to the upside. If that is going to continue, perfect. You are into that trade. So S&P 500 is not ready, not doing anything. So Bitcoin, I have posted an idea on Bitcoin. You can look for a breakout. Yeah, I'm anticipating new high on Bitcoin. Yeah, similar pattern we are having, but that is expanding triangle. Here we are having triangle. If anyone bought here, they need to watch the breakout. Don't buy the breakout. Okay, those who are not into that trade, you need to pay attention at that area. If it is going to test that bottom, this trend line, look for another up move. Okay, that wave, similar like this wave, similar like that wave. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, look for that trade, that wave. So S&P 500 is not doing anything. Okay, we are at the top. We need to look for at least pullback. So only for those fellows, we are about to hit the 2500. I told you fellows, we're gonna see that price gonna hit the 2500. Okay, so close to the 2500. I hope next week we're gonna see it is going to hit the 2500. So if it is going to pull back similar like that, they're going to be the trade. Okay, that wave. Okay, that wave. Okay, that trade going to be over there. The way we have taken that trade. All right, the way we have taken the previous trade. Now let me show you on lower time frame what kind of trade setup you can look for on S&P 500. You can look for continuation trade setup on lower degree, at least in 1 hour time frame. Yeah, 1 hour time frame. So at least price should form that continuation pattern formation, this pattern formation, then you can go for that trade. Okay, so it is just developing that continuation formation. Okay, pay attention as somewhere here at this area, and then you can look for that trade for short-term upside. So if it is going to fall back aggressively, don't look for buy. Let the price come close to the bottom. We're going to go for another up move, the way we have done on this week. And Bitcoin done. Yeah, that's it. Any question, fellows? Any question? Do you have any question? If you have any question, let me know. If you don't have, then perfect. We're gonna off and gonna see back into the growth. Okay, so many pairs are just setting up for the continuation formations. All right, many pairs are setting up for the continuation formation. So, all right, fellows, if there is no question, yeah, there is no question. Yeah, perfect. We're gonna off here. We'll look at those pairs next week. All right, so we analyze those pairs next week. All right, fellows. Thank you very much for being with me. Enjoy your Sunday, and we'll see you back into the group, and of course on the TV. Thank you. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye bye.